Hey y'all, Coach right here, and in today's video, we're talking about peanuts and other stuff here at the Hillbilly Homestead. Talking about peanuts. Well, you got the normal blank screen because I can see your comments. So if you want to talk about anything other than peanuts, that's fine. I will rather be looking at the comments. But we're talking a little bit about how things work here at the Hillbilly Homestead. Um, Praise the Lord, Father in heaven. You guys helped us get some peanuts yesterday. Oh, I wish I had recorded it. It should have been something I should have recorded live. Going on a peanut expedition. I think we got about a ton, about 2,000 pounds of peanuts. Maybe a little more. We didn't get as many as I wanted because we wasn't really set up like we were supposed to. And thank the Lord we wasn't set up because we had a lot of tire issues on the trailer. A lot of tire issues on the trailer. We had all the tire issues on the trailer, every issue you can have, with the exception of when you just roll the rim down to the nub. We were looking at that, we decided to just leave it there in some people's yard instead. And thank the Lord, thank our Father in heaven, hallowed be his name, Yahweh, that he was nice about it. He even understood what we were doing. Getting peanuts. We live here in Alabama, Dixieland, no doubt. Pretty close to the black belt. I think I'm on the black belt, but I may be the only one. The ground and the map may not agree with me, but they grow a lot of peanuts down here. I mean, they grow a lot of peanuts down here. I thought I grew some peas, right? Let me tell y'all this story. I thought I grew some peas all summer. I told y'all about these peas I grew. And I thought I was doing something, which I was, for a little family on my size. And about 6 or 7 of us at right now. And so the thing about it, we went up to see the peas that we had in the freezer. I wanted to do like an empty. We had to rebag them and all of that. And I don't know what that signal was. What the fuck do I want to talk about peanuts? Everything's a parable. And got some battery, y'all. Tell me my battery low. Hold on, let me get this charger. Charge y'all up before I lose. Charge y'all up before I lose. And so anyway, I actually got to see how many peanuts I'd actually put away. They were in the freezer, on the yard or somewhere. But I also got to see all of them at one time. And like I said, it was a lot for 6 people. But yesterday we got enough we got, like I say, 2,000 pounds of peanuts that was just kind of extra. But anyway, we got Leia says Shalawama. Appreciate you, Leia. Appreciate all you guys who are helping with these operations. It wouldn't be possible to do any of this stuff without you guys. Getting these peanuts is a really big deal around here. Everything eats peanuts. I am completely amazed and shocked that everything eats peanuts. Even stuff that ain't supposed to eat peanuts. Like chickens. They ain't supposed to eat peanuts, but they'll eat them. They'll eat them all day long. Eat them till they make them sick. They don't supposed to eat them because they have to be cooked first because of the enzymes and all of that chemistry go on inside the egg. You don't get that many eggs if you don't cook the peanuts for the chicken. So if you want eggs, you gotta cook the peanuts for the chickens. But everything I've watched the dogs eat peanuts. I've watched the cats eat peanuts today. I've watched everything eat peanuts but me and the fly. I ain't seen him eat a peanut yet. He might be trying though. Everything eats peanuts. In the woods eats peanuts. But anyway, just talking about the economics of the hillbilly homestead. Some of this stuff can be boring for you guys. Like, what? Peanuts? Everything's a parable. We got 6 people looking. 1 people like it. Like Leia. Appreciate you, same 6 here. We are taking comments if you have some other stuff you want to talk about. We will be talking about just some different stuff. We do have a lot going on today. And so I got to do my part here. Giving all praise to our Father in heaven. What's the news that you guys, if you saw the last video, the live stream on the chapter 13 or chapter 12. We did 13 before that, but we did chapter 12. If you saw that live stream, it explains, at least to me, why people are talking about spooky stuff. Anybody around somebody come up and say spooky stuff is going on? I haven't seen any spooky stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen the spooky stuff they talk about other than their Halloween stuff they got. I haven't seen anything really. But what I have seen is a few different guys. 3 guys, I would say, in 3 different communities, completely isolated. I don't even know if they know each other. But they both said the same word, spooky. And they said it as if got me thinking, what do you mean? The next one I'm gonna ask. I said the next time somebody say that, I'm gonna have to give some follow-up questions. What are you talking about? What do you mean spooky? Because we are actually in a season of spooky. That's what they mean by 3 days of darkness. We talked about that in the other video. Just trying to get you guys interested in the comment section. Else we're gonna have to talk about nothing but peanuts. Let me go get my glasses. We got a few people in the comment section down there. Let me go get my glasses. We have Sterling Thomas. I wonder, does he know his name is supposed to be Thomas? They're hiding that covenant sound at the front of his name. But anyway, he says, Shalom. Do you guys preserve food in jars at all? Yes, sir, we do. Matter of fact, I got some right here I need to try. Where is it? Sorry, you got to get the radio version of it. It actually just stopped leaking. I guess that means it's right. But what I'm looking at is a jar of fermented mustard greens. Now, I don't know if you tasted a mustard green before it was cooked. But if you ever taste a mustard green before it's cooked, then you understand what they mean by mustard. It's like really, really bitter. Thing about it, it was the first thing that was growing out there pretty strong because it's just a green, I guess. And so I had a little bit of an abundance of them, and I had the idea of doing just what you're talking about, preserving. But the thing is, canning jars are expensive. I don't know how long you've been on, if you've been on the home grid before. That's one of the things you're going to learn about canning jars is they are expensive and they are an heirloom, meaning you have to take really good care of them. Really good care of them. Store them, stack them. And they're high maintenance as well. They have to have these lids that you have to buy a lot of, the little lids. If you get into canning, you want an abundance of the lids. The rings are okay too. You need a lot of rings too, but the little lids are the big deal because without them, yeah, you ain't doing nothing. You just got a glass jar. The ring is important. And still make wine and other stuff like what I'm making here. because it keeps somehow producing juice. And so in order to preserve these greens, I looked it up. Um, how did they preserve greens before they had canning jars? What did they do before they had canning jars? And like I said, they're expensive. And so what it said was that they preserved them in salt and vinegar, which are two different things. One way preserves it in the salt, the other way preserves it in the vinegar. Now I did the salt method because of refrigeration issues. The vinegar method, you almost have to immediately put it in the refrigerator, and that was like a for me because we don't have a refrigerator on site. And so I decided to go with the salt method, and all it included was putting these greens in with 2 to 3% salt. I chose about 2.5% salt because I don't have refrigeration, so I had to go with a little bit more salt than normal. But what it's supposed to be for is like, I don't know. I don't know. Thing about it, all of the other cultures have this, what I'm making in their thing. Like you use cabbage over in Korea, they're going to call it kimchi. And you have other cultures that have greens and they call it something else. And the thing about it, the African American culture, we don't have this. Preserved greens, we don't preserve greens, we cook them. And so I don't know what this is that I don't eat, but I'm about to try it. I'm about to actually eat. The Lord gave, our Father in heaven, hallowed be his name, gave me a class in tasting food today. So you can't say words like yuck. It's nasty. Can't say it's natty. All right, so what I did was I went out and got a Walmart grocery bag full of greens. Or Chris did. He picked them. I washed them, tried to get all the sand out. I don't think I did. And then I mixed them up with salt. I think Stacey supervised me. But I got like 2% salt, or 2.5% salt, and greens. And that's all there is to it. I just smushed them together, and that was about a week and a half ago. They've been in this jar. They've been leaking every day. I got to know the jar has to sit in a bowl to keep green juice from going everywhere. And so now I'm going to try to just open the lid and smell it. It actually still smells like mustard greens, exactly mustard greens after a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. No, a week and a half. We haven't gone through 2 Sabbath days. So let me get some of it. I've already washed my hands. We're gonna try it. I'm gonna get Stacy. I hear Stacy out there. I'm gonna try it now. All right, here we go. Now, you're not going to sit here and eat a jar of this unless you have to, but you could. Hold on. Hey, Dave. Where your mom at? Where your mom at? Dave, can you come here a sec? Okay. Dave, come. All right. We're going to get back to it in a minute. The ladies in the video, and the men that made it, they always had a hard time with the juice, and they could never get the enough juice. So what I decided to do was to get the throwaway parts, the stems, and actually use them too. Get the juice out of them and then throw it away. It must have worked real good because I got a whole lot of juice. Come on in, Stay. We live. Just want you to taste this right quick. I know she's busy. Stacy out there working on peanuts. But I just tasted it. You want to try it? We live. Somebody asked if we preserve food. And Don't try it. Don't tell them about it. What did you get when we made it? Say hi, first of all. Stay over there in the window.
Good morning, everybody. Um, yes, I think it's just mustard green with salt water solution or salt solution. I think they make their own juices. So.
She's trying it.
Tastes very good. Not salty at all. A little tough, you would think, but not tough if you were eating like sauerkraut. That's what it sort of tastes like to me. Uh, like a mild flavor sauerkraut.
Okay, so you eat it with a hot dog or something like that.
Maybe on the side, it's a little tough, but not too tough.
All right.
It's very good. I'll eat it.
Try some more. Let's give them an update. We actually talking about peanuts. You gone? Going back out there with the peanuts? I just tried the stem. I ain't actually tried the greens. I tried one of them. It was real crunchy. I'm gonna try the actual greens. I don't think it's sounding like Sprite. What is that? It's got its own flavor to it, huh? It is a little chewy. But, yep. Yes, so the answer is yes. We preserve food in jars. Now, the object is not to preserve that any longer, but to go ahead and eat it up now that it's done. But anyway, let's go on back to the comment section. Glasses. Warrior Princess of the Most High Yah. Say Shalom, Coach family. And family. And in the fight family. Peace. Love and light. Appreciate you guys slapping by. Appreciate the good sentiments. Oh, I should have got her to try the peanuts while she was in here. Christian actually baked some peanuts in the microwave. Some of these peanuts that we're talking about. He was a little bit anxious. He was up right after dawn already. Had the idea to put some in the microwave. And he did. Matter of fact, let me try one of those. I said I was going to be the first one to try it, but. You know what? That might be the best roasted peanut I ever ate. You can actually taste just the peanut and everything. You don't taste like the heat. Don't taste like nothing else but a roasted peanut. In the microwave, so you put them in the microwave. That's what was interesting. Roasted a peanut in the microwave. Never know you could do that. But anyway, that's what we're talking about. Peanuts. He said, why are we talking about peanuts? Because of the economics of the world and the way the world is going now. You know, there's a lot of hungry people out there in the world. A lot of people, maybe even some listening to this channel, wondering where they would get food from. If you live in an area like I live, you live anywhere close to one of these factories that have all these products that they're making, there's always something associated with it that we can use. This just happens to be a peanut factory. They grow peanuts all around me. Every time I go somewhere, I got to look at peanuts growing. Big acre fields, thousands of acres of fields of peanuts. Well, all of a sudden, they start digging them up out of the ground, and then they start processing them. And around here, I think they make them for planters, peanuts, or something like that, which are very picky. And so they go through a processing machine. And in this processing machine, it looks for the color. And if the color is not the exact color red, or the shape, it discards the peanut. There's nothing wrong with the peanut. You can't tell any difference between a red peanut and a peanut that's not so red, except for the fact of the economic value. So the peanuts that are pink or those peanuts are ended up discarded. And so we ended up with a plan. Our father gave us a plan that we were going to feed them to the sheep. We used to give them to the deer back. Well, we still do. We started off giving them to the deer. But we quickly realized that even we could eat them. You know, when we, at one point, we were experiencing some stuff that actually allowed us to eat a lot of peanuts that winter. You know, we might have had peanut chili. What is it? Yeah, chili beans. Instead of having chili beans, it's chili peanuts, but it's the same thing, tastes the same. 2 or 3 times a week. So that was a few years ago. And so this is the first time we've actually been able to get any in because of the Jubilee year and because of the sabbatical year. You know, we didn't participate in the farming processes, including going out to get the peanuts. So we ain't seen that in a few years now. Right. Thing about it, you can make oil out of them. Again, everything in the woods eat them, including humans. And they're not absolutely free. The only thing about them is they require gasoline and, like I said, tires and stuff to get. So let me tell you what happened. So we was getting ready to go get the peanuts, and one of you guys sent in a donation of little. No, wait a minute. Let me see. Yeah, one of you guys sent in a little bit of donation. Then another one of you guys sent in a money request. And so that started this little process of us actually coming in together, which we've had to do a few times this week to actually get something that one of you guys needed. But anyway, in the process, I was supposed to get enough gas to get down there to get some peanuts. But lo and behold, when I put gas in the truck, it somehow ran out a lot faster than it was supposed to. Now, we got problems with the truck, sure. But I mean, this gas left the truck so fast that I almost literally got out of the truck to look under there and see if it was on the ground or something. And so I thought the truck was having problems. And so my friend suggested that I use his truck to go, because I'd almost given up on the idea, because, you know, it's pretty far we got to go. It's a pretty far distance we got to go to get these peanuts. And so my friend said, man, use my truck. Take my truck. I'm like, man, you sure? Like, yeah, absolutely. Anytime, take the truck. Take the truck. I'm like, man, oh, man. I need to call him. Well, after a few days of stalling, I said, well, he wanted me to take, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Take his truck. So I goes over, jumps in his truck, comes back over, picks up my trailer, start heading down, picks up, stops at the first gas station, because I don't know if he used our local gas, but anyway, I just put $1 or $2 in there, get to the next gas station, like I do my car. But anyway, so as we headed to the next gas station, before we even get there, we realized that something really wrong. The trailer is shaking. The truck is shaking. Everything is shaking. The whole world seems like it's shaking. Now, normally, you know, we're used to a little bit of a vibration on the trailer when we're pulling it. I mean, we had the same vibration. Y'all remember I told you how we tore down a house. Some people got hired to tear down a house. Well, that was the same trailer that we hired, that we hauled the house away in. We hired the whole house away on that trailer. And it had a little bit of a wobble. Yeah, we noticed it. I said the tires needed to be balanced. And so when we got in my friend's pickup truck now, Ford pickup truck, and we started going, this wobble that a balance is pronounced. Like I said, everything is shaking. And me not wanting to be, like I said, the main reason why I'm doing it in the first place is because I told him that I was going to do it. But my heart is not really into it in the first place. So the first sign of trouble, they shake it too much, I took the trailer back home. I asked the guy where we was at, and he was like, I said, where's the local tire place? Because I knew it was the tires. He said, the next town over. I'm like, man, I ain't going there. So I just went back home. Took the truck back, brought my trailer home, because now I got to deal with these tires on the trailer. Once again, thinking of abandoning the whole trip, really. But then, so we're coming up with an idea, what we're going to do about some tires. Or getting them balanced, really. And so the boys start, getting ready to off the trailer. And when I realized that once we take the tires off of the trailer, we're going to have to take the tires all the way to home, all the way to town. We're going to have to take the tires all the way to town, get them balanced, bring them all the way back home, put them on, then drive the thing all the way back through town, again going where we need to go, so it didn't make sense. And mind you, I forgot to say, when I was exchanging the trailer, I actually made sure the truck was all right, and then I put the trailer behind my car, my Suburban, and I drove it, and it was the same old vibration that we were used to. I even took it down on the stretch where they used to race it. And so I could get up the speed, up to 55 miles per hour with the trailer on there. And sure enough, there was that same old vibration that we were used to. It's been there the whole time. So, but now that I'm looking at them taking these tires off, I'm like, no, leave them on there. We're just going to take the whole trailer to town. Because if it works out, we're going to end up being able to just go ahead and get the peanuts. Because by now we realize that the gas needle was just messing up. It wasn't the truck itself, it was the gas needle or something like that. So we're going to try it. Plus, by now, you guys can help us out again. You guys heard, I ain't going to say you heard. He was talking about the importance of, anyway, so thank you guys for all you did, because you guys gave us the opportunity to get some gas. I had to get some seed. And I told y'all to get these peanuts. So you guys sent us a $200 donation. So I was on my way to get that. And so I had the seed and got the gas. And now we got this trailer. And now we're about to go to town to get the 4 tires balanced. And so I'm on the trailer and we're on the trailer. We got the trailer on the truck. And we headed to town to get the 4 tires balanced. Now, when we get up to 55, yeah, there's that same old vibration. But when we get up to, a little bit more than 55, 60, it's a bigger vibration. It's like huge vibration, like wow. But it doesn't matter in the Suburban, because the Suburban manhandles the trails, and it's like, it don't even matter. He can be 3 on 3 wheels, we're going to find out it don't matter. But with the pickup truck, it was just it was shaking the pickup truck. So anyway, it was way noticeable in the pickup truck. So, but it was barely noticeable in the thing until I got up to about 60 miles per hour, 65 miles per hour, that I started noticing that it was, that's a severe shake going on back there. And I still couldn't feel it in the truck. I couldn't feel it, the shake in the Suburban. Me and the boys, we couldn't feel the Suburban shake at all. But what we could see was the trailer back there shaking and wobbling. Like, oh yeah, that is vibrating. So that's a bigger difference we're talking about the Suburban and the pickup truck. The whole pickup truck shaking, but it was unnoticeable in the Suburban. It wasn't even noticeable. We had to actually visually see the vibration before we even knew it was doing anything. But anyway, so we get to town. And lo and behold, he said 2 of the tires were separated. I forgot what that meant. It's been like the 90s since I seen a separated tire. A separated tire is what cost me my A's in history, because I didn't get there in time. I had to go back home that day too. But anyway, so that explained this. So now I had to buy 2 tires, 2 used tires. The guy said, these are all we got. So he charged me $20 for a used tire. And so the thing about it, when he put those tires on there, And I started going down the highway where we had experienced all this vibration and shaking. I had almost forgot the trailer we was on there that it was riding so smooth. I forgot we had a trailer on the truck. I'm like, wow, I forgot we got a trailer back there. Like, yeah, it's back there. And so we goes on and gets the peanuts. We only get about half of what we want to get. Like I said, we're not properly set up. But anyway, we come back, we got about a ton of peanuts. Now, but the thing about it, yeah, we got on our way back with about a ton of peanuts. They only getting started down there. They only had one pile, it's only as big as my house. A little bit, they only getting started. The pile was only big as my house. But, and we only got half of what we wanted. It's like we was just riding a little bit too low. We flipped the ball around so we could ride a little higher. But on that, the brand new old tire that we was riding on exploded. Boom. Like, what's that noise? We can hear it dragging. But again, because of the Suburban, we don't even notice any change. You can just hear the tire back there. I actually started seeing stuff flying down the highway at that point. And so when we pulled off, yeah, we was about a mile or two away from being actually on the whole rim of the thing. So I just left the thing, a trailer in the people's yard. Came home trying to come up with an idea. The Lord blessed us with one. Turns out the spare tire in the car that don't run anymore actually fits. So we was able to take it back up there. We was able to get it all hooked up before sundown and actually able to make it home almost right there at sundown. Last night was about 2 tons of peanuts. So, thank you guys. Thank the Lord. So everybody get to eat. Everything get to eat this winter. And hopefully today, things go well. I'll get 2 more loads, 2 good loads today. So that's up there. Anyway, let's go to the comment section. Aliyah says, I appreciate your practical approach to literally living out of the system. What has been the hardest part about living apart? Money. That's and it's because intentional. That part in the Bible that says that we can't buy or sell. Yeah, being outside of the system makes us an enemy of the system, and so the system itself fights against us. If it wasn't for that, it's just everything's fine. Everything great. Everything's just work. Everything is just getting used to the idea, of this, that, and the other. Like all that I've talked about, getting 2 tons of peanuts was easy. Putting it on the trailer, my boys, I got 3 boys, for them, to get the Suburban running, to get the trailer running, to sit there and change tires and all of that. I didn't even have to watch most of it, so it was pretty much easy for them. They're 18 years old. That's they do that stuff. They love to do that kind of stuff, so it's easy to them. The hard part was getting a little $20 tire that ended up exploding on us in the first place, and then we got to find another one. That's the ridiculous part, the economic part of it. Let me see. Let me find another thing. What else was the hardest part? Let me go back to the question. But that's the purposeful part, though. I'm going to get back to that. Let me go back to the first question. What has been the hardest part about living set apart? Living set apart. Now, when you say set apart, that implies the word holy. What's the hardest part about living set apart? It's being apart. The hardest part about being apart is being apart. And not talking so much about the lonely part. There is that aspect of it, all sure. But in order to be set apart, you have to kind of protect yourself. You can't let everybody come in and just do everything that they want to do. And so you have to kind of put a shield up. And you have to put a defense up against your own family. You have to put, if you was living in a community, you literally got to go build a 3-dimensional fence to protect yourself. Else, they will be doing their stuff over on your set apart land. And that would be a no-no. It will get you in trouble. And so that's the part. That's the hardest part. It's kind of like you got to manage them. And their understanding, and not so much their understanding of it, but their compliance with it. When they come around, they have to comply with the law. What if they don't know the law? What if they haven't read it? Okay. Well, it gets worse when they don't believe it, or worse when they don't think they're supposed to do it, and they will actually rebel and do the opposite. So the hardest part about being set apart is being set apart. I mean, protecting yourself part. I mean, we're always under attack. Always under attack here. I'm trying to run through my head over the last 10 years. At what point were we not under an attack? Simply because we were set apart. There's never been a time, even from day one, when we first started separating ourselves from this community, was over Passover. The church and everybody was involved. We was up there, and they were talking about Easter, and we were talking about Passover, and so that was the very first split, the very first crack in the community. The very first crack was right there when we were discussing Passover. One of the people in the communities kind of rings out in my head, as they say, we don't believe in that, And so since then, the attack started. And it ain't them. We don't celebrate, we don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against principalities and powers. So a lot of times they thought they were doing us a favor when they would do stuff like bring holiday food down here to us. At one point, I guess they thought we were poor and couldn't afford holiday food. And so they thought they were doing us a favor by bringing us some and giving us some. I felt that one time before when I had to be a part of an outage there in nuclear power. Back in my last job, my previous life, I worked in nuclear power. And we would have outages where we would have to work 13 hours a day, 6 days a week. And one time that occurred during the summertime, and my family was like, you know what, we're going on vacation. You're gonna be gone. We're going to it. So no, it wasn't. It was during the holidays, I believe. Yeah, it was during the holidays, because the neighbor who saw me there by myself actually brought food over and gave it to. I can't remember exactly which holiday it was, but they thought they was doing. They, to this day, they probably still think they were doing a good thing, even the Lord's work, when they saw me there by myself doing nothing other than taking a nap, getting ready for work the next day. Came over and gave me a plate of food. Well, back then, I thought it was, the perfect thing for the neighbor to be doing. Wow, this is neighborly. That's I still remember their name today, Mr. and Mrs. West. We've moved away since then, but you guys can send a prayer up for them. I thought they were they actually were the best neighbors I ever had in my life. And that was one of the reasons that, I can say that is because they did that. They brought me that food on that day. But the thing about it, the point is, if you were to do that today, that's an attack. That's an attack on my family. She don't know. Mrs. West was the one who brought it over. She doesn't know that. She wouldn't even know that today. But it is literally an attack, because if we were to eat that food, we would be accursed. We would actually, it's called eating food sacrificed unto idols. It's talked about in the book of Revelation. Chapter 2, eating food sacrificed unto idols. That's food sacrificed unto an idol. And simply by eating it puts us in that situation. And so you go through those kind of attacks. Your family thinks they're doing you a favor by calling you on Thanksgiving, by sending you Christmas gifts and Christmas cards, and but it's an attack after an attack after an attack. They're calling you up talking about happy birthday this and want to give you a party that, and all of that are the straight up attack. That is the war that we're in. When they say that it is an attack on the saints, that is their weapons. Those are their weapons. Those are the weapons, because any one of those weapons will knock you off of your thing. They will knock you completely out of your thing. That's why they celebrate those holidays. They don't know it. They don't know it, and if you explain it to them, they'll even get mad and argue with you. But according to the script, they celebrate those holidays in order to offend the Most High in the first place. That's the purpose for them, to create separation. To create separation. To create separation. I guess it's like being in high school and you want to declare yourself, or no, let's go back to college. Back in college, when I was at Auburn University, there were, Auburn University is on a different tier when it comes to the engineering school opposed to any other school in Alabama. So that's why we had a whole lot of Alabama fans studying engineering at Auburn. And they would wear their clothes. They would, to identify, they would be walking, they still are, walking around the halls of Auburn with their Alabama stuff on. That's because Auburn is just a better school. The thing about it, when it came to the football game or when it came to the homecoming game, they declared their allegiance. Every time. Created separation. And so now that's the way it is with the pagan holidays. We may be walking together, this, that, the other in the same place, but we declare our allegiance at the pagan holidays, letting everybody know we ain't on the same team. We ain't even a part of the same group. We may have to sit in the same class and take the same lesson, but, your blood is red and ours is orange. We different. Man, let's go. Back to the comment section. Sterling Thomas says, do you all preserve fruit differently, considering the fact that you mentioned previously not having quick access to sugar? No, man, we're still having to buy sugar. We're experimenting with sugar beets right now. And we don't know how they're going to turn out. They're in a winter mode. They're out there. I'm trying my best to keep the deer off of them. To see if I can get one. I probably need to go put a cage around at least one of them to see if one will pop out, because the deer are vicious around here. The deer are very vicious. They're vicious. They will eat you at a house and home overnight. They have no problem. But, that's why we eat them. But anyway, so sugar is an issue. Preserving food around here without sugar is an issue. Sugar is an issue. Sugar is a whole issue. And we don't have a solution yet, other than trying to grow something that can produce sugar. But as far as preserving fruit, I'm running through my head as I speak. Trying to come up with another way. I've seen Stacy preserve fruit without sugar, and now I think I'm gonna have to ask her. But anyway, I'm gonna have to get ready to close this video out. Hey, Stay. Stay. I got a question about preserving fruit. You want to answer before I close the video out? Let's see, I thought I saw another comment down there. Warrior Princess, the Most High says, even when you remind them that you don't celebrate birthdays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, etc., they still offer you food, gifts, and you have to decline respectively. Yeah, that's the attack. They're trying to bring you back, but anyway, I'll come back to that. The question, Stacy, that Sterling asks, he's the one who asked about preserving it in jars earlier. That's what prompted the taste test. But he says, do you preserve fruit differently, considering the fact that you um, have no quick access to sugar? How do you preserve fruit when you have no quick access to sugar?
You have no quick access to it. You can't preserve it in the jars because the fruit in itself don't make enough sugar to keep it from spoilage. The best way to do that is to dry it and or freeze it.
Yeah.
But those are the only ways that I would know how to do it that way.
And those aren't hard. Drying is not hard. Drying it will probably be the best way, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Except bananas.
You can dry them; they just have that stickiness to them.
Make mess.
Yeah.
Dry bananas are messy.
Eventually gonna spoil, I would think.
Yeah. Those are fried bananas in the store, not dried bananas. But um, I was thinking wine, but even wine you have to have sugar.
Yep.
So just drying it. Drying it is job.
Dry it.
Thank you, Stacy. All right. Cora Sansada says, "Good morning, family in Christ." Good morning, Cora Sansada. Royal Prince of the Most High says, even when you remind them that, yeah. So talking about the pagan holidays, even when you remind them, especially when you remind them at first, guys, every one of us have to go through this. When we get on this walk, when we start reading that Bible, it starts talking about stuff. The first thing we do is go start telling our families about what we just read, whatever it is. Not eating pork. The Bible says that we ain't supposed to eat pork. I ain't gonna eat pork. Well, guess what you're going to have for dinner that night? Well, it's it's just the thing about it is part of the red dragon. It's part of what we were talking about as far as the red dragon with this negative energy. It's not really that the people are trying to make you eat pork that evening. It's more about the fact that you talked about it and had a discussion about pork, and it's just going to be on their mind. And a question about, they question whether they're supposed to do it or not. And the way it works, they're going to end up wanting to have pork. If not that night, it's going to be the next night. Eventually it's coming. They're going to have to. Well, that's the same way with everything else. You know, and especially these holidays because they've been ingrained. And then you think on the part that they don't know our Father's holidays or holy days at all. They don't know his holy days at all. And many of them think the only holidays are those, you know, the way of serving the Lord is through their holidays, Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving and stuff. And so for a lot of people, when you take away those holidays, you're taking away their religion. They don't even believe in Jesus no more if they don't celebrate Christmas. You're taking away their whole religion. And so now, yeah, absolutely, they're going to come back and they're going to remind you that, yeah, everybody does it. You used to do it, da-da-da, and da-da-da, and it's just going to be about that. And so they're going to keep on coming. And they will call you, and they're going to call you on the holidays. And then worse when they call you on the holidays, next year they're not going to call you, and that's even worse of an attack because you're going to be sitting there thinking about the fact that they up there celebrating and you ain't. And they ain't thinking about you no more. They don't even call you no more. That's the next level of attack. You know, the fact that you're missing out. You know, and that's what it's about. It's about separation anyway. That goes back to the first part about being set apart. You know, that's the set apart thing about it, being apart. You can't go be with your family no more. You can't go hang out with them anymore. You're being apart. You're sitting apart. Now you're alone on the feast day and on the holiday. Warrior Prince of the Most High says, I even told them not to call me on the birthday. They still called, wanting me to answer. Birthdays are a whole nother level of evil, y'all. Especially birthday cakes, and birthday candles, and birthday parties. It ain't such an evil thing to get an evil odor, I guess. But you have to understand where birthday parties come from. They come from man's day parties. They used to didn't let kids or women participate. Why? Because that's spiritual level stuff. Birthday parties are a spiritual level thing. And it's nothing to play with. They knew that all throughout history. That's why they did not have a birthday party for a child. And they would not have a birthday party for a woman or a female of any type. Why? Because it's an elevation party. That's how you elevate yourself. What does the Messiah say? Ye are gods. Well, all we need for you to be a false god is for somebody to start worshiping you. No, that's what birthday parties do. That's what Pharaoh did to elevate himself. That's what birthday parties do. That's why the man was the only one allowed to have one. It was a way of controlling your household. For instance, this household here, like I tell you, there's 6 or 7 people around that, 6 or 7 people that directly are supported by me, directly supported. But if you start extending out to the people who take some charity and stuff, it might be half the community. But half the community listen and obey with me, I say none of them. I say out of all the people that I didn't just mention, only about 1.5 of them will do anything I told them to do consistently. So how do you fix that? How do you take control of your family and make them all do what you say? Make them all bow down to you to the point? You have a birthday party. You have a birthday party to yourself with all of the fixings. I ain't going to talk about all the details. Might give some of y'all some bright ideas. But you had a birthday party and you invite them in with all of the fixings and $2. And everybody at the party now sees you as a god. Not only have they separated themselves from the Most High because they have worshipped a false god, you, at your birthday party or your man's day party. So they have separated or got themselves cut off from him for the number of hours that they participated. If you had a 3-hour party, they're going to be cut off for him for 3 months. An hour for a month for an hour. And so they come and celebrate your birthday party for 12-hour party. They're going to end up being your spiritual slave, which is the intent of the party, for the next 12 months, for the entire year, waiting for your next party to come. So you can keep this perpetual thing over your family. It's a way of controlling your family. And then, of course, it extends to the government. Everybody at the king's parties just going to bow down to him. That's why certain governments don't have public birthday parties, because they don't want the whole world bowing down to them like they are God. But even they will have private parties where those that they want bowing down to them will be there at their private party. Others have public parties because they want the whole nation to bow down to them as if they were a god. It's a way of control. And so since these days, you're now allowing everybody to participate. It's a shift from man taking control of his house, which we can halfway understand, despite the fact that his evil is all get out. So now we're allowing women and children to participate. So think what that's doing, because it still has the same effect. Doesn't matter if you're a man or not. It's the party in itself with all of the fixings. You can celebrate your dog if you want to. You're going to end up bowing down to your dog for the rest of the time. And somebody come and try to attack your dog, you literally almost die for your dog because you think your dog going to save you somehow. It's because you worship him at their birthday party. That's what birthday parties are for. We used to call them man's day parties. But now we call them birthday parties because we allow women and children to participate. The reason why we do that is because of our Christian churches who favor birthday parties. They actually promote it throughout all of the religions and actually push birthday parties throughout all of the religions. Got everybody doing birthday parties all around the world as if everybody has a right. Like I said, it used to only be preserved and reserved for men and kings and other people who wanted to exalt themselves to God-like status. Think about it now, we're allowing the women and the children to exalt themselves to God-like status. So how does it work now? Where you have the disgruntled housewife who wants to get out of the marriage, get out of the relationship with the Lord and everything else, can now have a birthday party for her child. Elevate that child to a God-like status. One day, knowing that the child will go to college or whatever, get married to some old pagan dude that's going to make a whole lot of money, that they can now move into their brick house with them and live happily ever after. It's a way of separating yourself. It's called liberalism. It's a way of liberating yourself from all things holy. And see, that's why one of the reasons why your family is so treacherous, because they're the ones that's either going to promote your birthday or try to promote theirs. Either way, it's a way of getting yourself separated from the Most High, elevating yourself to God-like status. Anyway, let's go back to the comments. We can't go to work, y'all. Oh man, where are the glasses at? I'm trying to just put those glasses down. I don't have the ones with the string on. Looks like we got an interesting comment down. I can barely see it. Go in here and find the other ones. If you got any ideas of what we could do with some peanuts, now's the time to express them. We're going to be doing some experiment. I'm always trying to get some oil out of the peanut. Make peanut oil. I'm watching video. I watched a video on that today. I can't find any glasses now. Can't find the ones I had. Can't find the ones I'm supposed to have. Oh well. We're going to try without it. Is that Runt? Man, I said I need my glasses. It looks like Runt said. We missing some comments. Where my glasses go? Let's go ahead and get Stacy. Hey, Zach, borrow your glasses. Chris, you listening to this? Can you hear me now out here? Catch up. I might have to go back in the house. Some sounds out here of them winnowing peanuts. Can I borrow your glasses? I can't find one.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
You can. Leah says, do you believe the economic system is due to permanently end fairly soon? Yes, 2027 is going down. Maybe sooner. It could go down sooner. But by 2027, it's all supposed to be over with. All of the economic systems, all of the control systems that they have on us are supposed to be over soon. We got TTY144K check-in. Says shalom, shalom. Says, what is the weaning process like Abraham did for Isaac? A weaning process? I think I start feeding him. What's the weaning process like Abraham did for Isaac, say?
When they had that celebration when he was finished being weaned.
Yeah, that they had the party. What's the process of weaning a child? Other than
Giving him less and less milk.
yeah. That's something I've never actually went through. Interesting. I have to look that up. Why does God allow rape if he controls and can do all things? He doesn't control everything, does he, Stack? Stacy the expert on this. I still got her glasses. You didn't hear the question? Or I said the question I asked you was, I said God doesn't control everything, does he? You believe he controls everything?
Yes, I believe he does control everything.
Okay. Now let me read the question. Why does God allow rape if he controls and can do all things?
Why does he allow bad stuff to happen to people?
Yeah.
Uh, I would say it's for a reason. I mean, um, it's spiritualized. It could be something in past reincarnation. I mean, but who knows the mind of God? He don't think like human thinks. I'm not saying that he says that he does that, but to say that God doesn't control everything, it's not a conversation I want to have.
Does he control free will?
He gives us free will.
Does he control free will?
No, he doesn't control free will. Um, it's a gift. Well, you can say he controls it to an extent because he gives it to us. I don't know if he controls it or not, but it's something that he gives to us. It's a gift that we're given. To say that he controls it, he allows us uh, to use it the way that we want to. So
Well,
yeah, I would say yes, he does control free will because he can um,
stop you in your tracks.
stop you from doing things. So ultimately, yes.
So then the answer then would be a spiritual answer then. Like, you have to, man, I don't want to speak on it, never know the relationship to her and the third people and the question, but I guess the only real answer what you said, everything happens for a reason. My answer is he doesn't control everything. He doesn't control us. We have the ability to do anything we want to do. I mean, he may delay the process, but if I say I'm gonna go rob a bank, and I'm determined to do it, I'm going to eventually do it. He may control whether I'm successful or not. Like I said, he may delay it. He may take it out of my mind for a minute. Make me. But if I'm determined that that's what I'm gonna do, he's gonna let me do it. You know. But the thing about it, he's gonna let me do it to the people that it's supposed to be done to. In other words, the bank that I'm gonna stick up is the bank that's supposed to be stuck up. If I decide I'm going to go kill somebody, the person that I actually do get to kill, be a person who was supposed to be killed.
I don't know if I agree with that because Cain killed Seth. He was, and that
Can't kill
wasn't
Abel.
Cain killed Abel. He wasn't. That wasn't a part of what he was supposed to do.
How can you
And
say that? It was written in the Bible.
yeah, it was written in the Bible, but I mean to say that
I don't think he's saying supposed to. Like in Abel's case, he may not have deserved it, but it was something that needed to happen.
Yeah, it had to happen.
something that has something.
I'm
I
saying
don't
because it
think.
said
I
if
don't
God's
think
in
that he.
control, you could ask the same question. If God's in control, why was Cain allowed to kill Abel? It's
Well,
because
I would say
Cain was in
that I would
control.
say
Cain
I
did what he
definitely don't
wanted to
believe
do.
that. I definitely don't believe that we have the ability to do anything we want to. I mean, we can't turn ourselves into the Most High. We can't.
You can. You're just gonna take a really, really, really long time.
You can't turn yourself into the Most
Yeah,
High.
we're gonna when you return to him, when you go back to him, you're gonna be him, or you return back to be one.
We will minister. We gonna actually be him. We said He is one. He's the only God.
We become one with him
We
again.
become
But
one
I
with
think it's
Him.
control more so as in how a referee can control the game of
Yeah,
control a baseball game. He isn't making the players do such and such, but he can say this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen.
yeah. He can't stop you from fouling, but he can put you on the bench for fouling that. Yeah.
Read the word. It's in there somewhere. It's in there. I promise you. It's as to uh, why
Well,
that the great, you know, it's in there somewhere.
yeah, it's in Amos. The book of Amos tells you why everything happened, and the reason why, like I was saying, is because I don't want to say you deserve it because she might be a victim, and that would be um, bad. But you say, well, why are there people allowed to be starving over in the Middle East right now, in Gaza right now? It's because they deserve it. It's because in a previous lifetime, according to the book of Amos, they starved people out. They starved the people out, and because they did that in a previous lifetime, they have been reincarnated into this time just so they could be over in Gaza right now going through what they're going through, babies, children, and all that. People wonder why babies get hurt. Who was that baby in a previous lifetime? That was a grown spirit. You don't know what they did. You don't know who they are. You're looking at them as they're a baby going through something. That just means in the last lifetime they was a grown person doing something. So we got that to worry about. I mean, sorry things like that happen, but and they will continue until this dragon is up, because one could argue that he's not in control as long as this dragon is in the sky. He's not in control at all times. He controls us through emanations. I mean, you can look and give me the dirty eye if you want to, but like you said, Stacey, it's in the book, and you got to read it somewhere. And I believe I have. It's in the Testament of Solomon. It's in the Keys of Enoch. It's in a lot of books that you haven't gotten around to yet. But anyway, he tells that he controls us through emanations. He controls us through those stars up there. He sends signals through us. That's why you have different things. They're praying 3 times a day, rising up at dawn, feast days, new moon days, Sabbath days. All of those are star alignment days. The thing about it, while he's doing those, some days are good days, some days are bad days. Those are from his 2 star constellations. One is in the constellation of the Ram. The other one is in the constellation of the Bull. The thing about it, those are the good constellations, but they're not up there at all times. A lot of times they're not up there at all. But the evil constellations, the ones like Draco and the ones of the bear and the dragon and the serpent, they're up there all the time. And so while he may be trying to send a good emanation here and they're sending a good emanation there, sometimes he tells us to sit down. But what if we don't? Now we're going to get those negative emanations. Now, is he going to control us when we're misbehaving and receiving negative emanations? Some of us actually want that stuff and are getting power from it and running our lives and actually gaining success for it. You think it will come back and take control of our lives when we ain't hurting nobody but ourselves in the first place?
I'm just going by the question that said that he doesn't control everything. Now, if somebody want to think that he don't control everything, a God who's all-knowing, all-powerful, all-knowing, let me say that again, all-knowing, if they want to think that he don't control everything, then that's on them.
Just because he know everything, I mean, you got to go
Okay.
through all 5 of them. You got to go through all 5 of them. You got to come up with a
Not
best
yet.
shot. But just because you know something don't mean you control it. So I know what you're doing, but I ain't controlling what you're doing.
Are we seriously sitting here having a discussion about the Most High God don't control everything?
No, what I said was you have to go through all 5 of them. He's omniscient, means he knows everything. He's omnipotent, means he's all powerful. You got to go through all of them. So
Okay.
one more, at least one more. But which one says that he actually takes control of everything? He even tells us that Satan is control of this world right now.
This world. How many is there?
But he said that Satan was in control of the world, didn't he? Control over it when he decided to reject the
Who's in
law.
control of Satan?
See, that's what needs to be understood too. As long as we're outside of the law, can we say that we're under his full control? Or can we say that we're under any of his control? I mean, that's why we obey the law and pray and rise at dawn so we can be under his control. But what if we ain't doing none of that? He's still controlling us?
Yeah. He still controls us. Yes. He still controls us.
So then we ain't got nothing to worry about then.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you talking about if the Father is in control of all of us, yes, He is in control of all of us.
Who else is in control of you besides him?
There's plenty of people in
No, man, ain't
control
no
of
plenty of
me.
people. You
People,
personally,
yes,
who is in
me.
control
I'm
of
not
you?
talking about me. I'm not. No, I'm
Okay.
not. I don't talk about me.
Son, who is in control of you? Speak loud for the whole world to hear.